Hello and welcome to Total Training for Premiere Pro CS5 Essentials. My name is Luisa Winters and I am an Adobe Certified Instructor for several Adobe applications, including, of course, Premiere. I am also a frequent speaker at some national and international conferences. I have been using Premiere since version 3. I love using it and find it extremely powerful and versatile. After completing this course, you will be a lot more comfortable in Premiere Pro and will be able to edit videos on your own. This first chapter will serve as an introduction to how to get started using Premiere Pro. I would like to start by giving you a very quick overview of how Premiere Pro CS5 works. We will go in detail over some of these steps in other chapters, so don't worry too much if I skip over some of the details. This chapter is meant to be a very quick overview only. The basic workflow of Premiere Pro CS5 works like this. First, you need to capture your footage. You can use On Location, which is included with Premiere Pro CS5, or you can use your camcorder, tape, whatever you want. But after you have captured your footage, you need to open Premiere Pro. When you open Premiere Pro, the first screen that you see is this one. I'm going to go ahead and click on the New Project icon, and the New Project panel opens up. In here, I'm going to select where I would like to save my project. If I don't save the project, I cannot work in Premiere Pro. So I'm going to click on Browse, which is right here. I'll navigate to the desktop, to the project files of Premiere Pro CS5 Essentials, Chapter 1, and I'm just going to click on Chapter 1 to select the folder, and I'll click on Choose. I'm going to name this project Overview. The new sequence settings appear. All you have to do is click OK. And this is now Premiere Pro. When you're in Premiere Pro, the first thing that you need to do is either capture or import your footage. We are going to talk about capturing a little bit later on in another chapter. So let's talk about importing the footage. For that, you go under File, Import, and you can import any footage that you may have already captured or that you may have already transferred from your camcorder directly to the computer. You can also use the media browser, which is located here. I am going to use the media browser. I'm going to navigate to the desktop. I'll make this panel a little bit larger. To the project files, to a folder called Media, and in here I'll select the folder called P2 Media. I'll tell you more about what P2 Media is and different types of media later on in the series. I'm going to import these two files, Bird on Sign and Boy and Pig, and I'm just going to drag them to the project panel. Now I have to place these files on my sequence, and for that I have to make sure that my sequence shares the same settings as my files. If I click on any of these files, let me make this a little bit larger, see that up here it gives you information on that file. It tells me that it's a movie, 1440 by 1080, and a pixel aspect ratio of 1.333. I'm going to go ahead and select a sequence preset that will match this. And for this one, I'm going to choose AVC Intra, 1080i, and AVC 50, going at 1080i, 60. So that's 60 fields per second, 29.97 frames per second. That's going to be the frame rate. And of course, a frame size of 1440 by 1080 and a pixel aspect ratio of 1.333, which matches my clip. I can just go ahead and double click this. I'm going to go ahead and rename this Overview. And there you go. It is open in here as well. Now all I have to do is add this clip to the timeline. I can zoom in by using the plus key or minus, and I can just play it back. I can keep on assembling my video. I'll add this one, which is Boy and Pig. can zoom out a little bit. Now I will add a title, which by default is going to match my active sequence. I'll just write something like Title 1. I'll change the style, maybe to this. Position it like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and close it and drag it to track 2. And as you can see, my video is coming out fairly nicely. Now I'm going to add transitions. So I'm going to go to the Effects panel, Video Transitions, Dissolve, and I'm going to add cross dissolves not only to the title, beginning and end, but to the video itself. And now it should just fade up. And it does. I could add other effects like moving titles, color correction, anything I want. I'm going to skip that for now. And finally, I'm going to add some audio. So I'm going to go ahead and import an audio file. File, Import. I'm going to navigate to the Media folder in my Project Files folder. And in here, there is an audio folder, and I'm going to select the Vals Romantica, which is an MP3 file. I'll click on Open. And now that appears in here, I will drag this to the timeline. Let me go ahead and expand this a little bit so we can see it better. And there it is. Now I'm just going to trim it a little bit so that it is the same length as my video. And I'm going to add an audio crossfade, constant power, to the end so that the audio also fades out. And now I'll just play it back. And I look at it, I make sure that I'm happy with it, I adjust it if I need to, and after I'm happy with it, it is time to export it. To export it, I'm just going to go File, Export, and I can export it as media, I can export it to tape, Final Cut XML, Avid OMF, any of those, AAF, etc., etc. Or I can just choose Adobe Dynamic Link and I can send it to Anchor to create a DVD, whether it's standard DVD or Blu-ray, or even to export it to a Flash DVD.